Hello friends, welcome to our channel. Today we going to start our new subject of 6th semester, that is market survey and price analysis. So this subject, the course number is ABM 3612 and the allotted credits are 0 plus 2, that is 2. So in this subject we are going to do only the practical sessions. So today we'll start with our first practical. So first practical which is given in our this subject is marketing research process. So in this subject we have to learn the 50% course material from the market research and 50% is price analysis, then trend analysis and the calculation of different terminologies which is related to price or estimation of prices of different products. So today we'll start with marketing research process. So student, the marketing research is very important part for any organizations who are selling their products in the market. So marketing research gives the idea of their product and the consumer preference towards the product to specific company. So on the basis of consumer preference, their behavior and their attitude towards the product, company can formulate their policies and can implement their decisions or their policies and strategies to capture the market share. So we'll start with the marketing research. So marketing research is the systematic design, collections, analysis and reporting of data relevant to a specific marketing situation facing an organization. So marketing research is a systematic design. So when we have to conduct the marketing research, there should be follow a systematic procedure. There should be follow a systematic way. It is a marketing research. It is a have a systematic process. It has a systematic way, and when you go by using this way, then only you can get a desired result or what is your objectives that can be fulfilled only when you follow the systematic designs. So marketing research is a systematic design. Collections, it's not only design, there is a collections of data. After collections there is an analysis of data, and after the analysis whatever the findings they have to report to the relevant company to a specific marketing situation facing in an organization. So if company is facing any marketing situation and they have to identify the impact of that situation in the market or reasons of that situation or what will be the overcomes or how to overcomes on that situation, then company can go for marketing research. So in this process there is a systematic design. First they have to formulate a systematic design. After the design they have to collect the data, then they have to analyze the data. After the analysis there should be the reporting of the findings, whatever findings they received, whatever findings they identified by the marketing research. So on the basis of that findings, company can formulate their strategies and policies for overcoming that particular situations of the organization. So this is a marketing research. So everyone please remember, marketing research, it is a systematic design, collection, analysis and reporting of data relevant to a specific marketing situations facing an organization. So for example, marketing research gives marketing insights into customer motivations, purchase behavior and satisfaction. So as I told, marketing research give the information about the customer motivations, how they motivate to purchase a particular product, what is the source of motivation, Why they motivated? Either it may be the price, it may be the uh, quality, or it may be the satisfaction which they are receiving from that product. Then it may be the identify the purchase behavior, how they purchase a product, how frequently they are purchasing that product, or why they are purchasing that product, or after the purchasing are they satisfied with that product, or they have the some problems, or they have the some uh, dissatisfaction regarding that product, and the satisfaction, how much they are satisfied with the product. So that is the examples of the marketing research. So marketing research, it can help them to assess market potentials, not only the identify the particular situation, they also identify the potential. Is there potential to grow their market? Is there potential to capture a more market or compete with the competitors? Then market share or measure effectiveness of pricing, product distribution and promotions. So these are the some criterias which are keep in mind while conducting the market research. So this is a process of marketing research. So marketing research, as I told in a previous definition, that marketing research is a systematic design. So this is a design, this is a way, this process, this process shows the what is a design, how the process or how design should be formulated. So the first stage in marketing process, that is the define research problem. So very important process, very important stage, that is the defining research problem. So these stages we will discuss later on in our coming slides. So first stage is defining research problem, then second one is review of literature, then third one is formulating hypothesis, then designing research or including sample design, then collection of data, then analysis of data or testing the hypothesis, and interpretation and reporting. So the sometimes the in the objective questions it is asked that the marketing research process starts with, so it's with defining research problem. So this is the first stage of marketing research. So we'll discuss one by one. So first one is formulating research problem. So every marketing process, as I told, marketing research process starts with these steps. Means which one? This one is formulating the research problem, or we can say defining the research problem. So there are two types of research problem: those which relate to the states of nature, and those which relate to relationship between the variables. So state of natures means it comes under the quality of product, pricing of product, then promotion or taste or their preference. So it shows the state of nature, state of the product. They can show what is the state and they can collect the feedback about that. And another one is relationship between variables. So it can say, so suppose we ask the question why you are purchasing a product. So if customer given the feedback due to the price, so there is a relation between price and purchasing. So these types of relationship shows in a relationship between variables. So in the second types of research problem, so first one which showing the state of product, and second one showing the relationship between the some variables of the product. The next stage is the extensive literature survey. So in while conducting any research, the literature survey is very important factor. So literature survey means what? It shows the past studies which had been conducted on a specific topic or with a related topic. So in a past study which shows the some relation with your current situation. So literature survey is very important. You can say your study we can based on our literature survey. So there are so many ways to study the literature survey, or we can say there is, so we can also call it as a review of literature. So review of literature means to identify or to go through with the past studies which had been conducted on specific topic or related topic. So when the problem is formulated, the second step is to brief summary about the literature. Uh, at this juncture, the researcher should undertake extensive literature survey connected with this problem. So when you identify, you formulate the research problem, then the researcher have to conduct a detailed study on the review of literature, on the literature survey, the studies which had been done on this topic or on this problem. The for this purpose, means for literature survey, the abstracting, indexing journals and published or unpublished bibliographies are the first place to go to. So where we'll get the literature survey, from which place or what are the sources to do the literature survey? So those sources are, first one, abstracting. So to check the abstract of different researches, then indexing journals and published or unpublished bibliographies. So that are the first way to get a literature survey. And then we can also follow the academic journals, conference proceedings, government reports, books, etc. So these are the sources from which we can get a literature survey. So in this process, means in a literature survey, it should be remembered that one source will be lead to another. The earlier studies, if any, which are similar to the study in hand, should be carefully studied. So when you going to the different literature survey, so now we'll going to third stage, that is development of working hypothesis. So hypothesis is very important step of any research, or we can say without hypothesis we cannot conduct the research. So hypothesis is a assumption, or it is a give a some idea about your products. So working hypothesis is tentative assumptions. So what is meant by hypothesis? So hypothesis is a tentative assumptions and made in order to draw out the test its logical or empirical consequences. So hypothesis is a tentative assumption. So we assume something, and on the basis of that assumption we can conduct a research. So in the hypothesis there are two types of hypothesis, the null hypothesis and second type of alternative hypothesis, or alternative hypothesis we can also known as a research hypothesis. For example, suppose we are saying that the price of our product and price of our competitor product. So if price of our product is equal to price of competitor product, then it is a null hypothesis. Null hypothesis means there is a no difference, there is a no change, there is a no effect. So that is a null hypothesis. For example, suppose we are saying the women teacher are equal talented to men teacher, then it's a null hypothesis. And suppose we are saying women teacher are more explanatory than the men teacher, then it's a alternative hypothesis. So null hypothesis means there is no difference. So in other words, we can say woman teacher is equally talented with men teacher, means there is a no difference in a woman and men teacher's talent. So that is a null hypothesis. And when we say women teacher are more talented than the men teacher, then it's an alternative hypothesis. If there is a no change, no difference, or if it is equal to, then it's a null hypothesis. If it is not equal to, it is greater than, or it is less than, then it's called a alternative hypothesis. So selecting a hypothesis or formulating a hypothesis is a very important stage of marketing research. Then next one, preparing the research design. So in a research design we can say methodology, or we can say research methodology. So in methodology you have to identify the sampling method, which sampling you going to select, then what will be your design, how you will going to select the samples, and it is a way in which it shows how your research is going to. So the functions of research design is to provide for a collection of relevant evidence with minimal expenditure of efforts, time and money. So how should be your research design? So research design should be minimal expenditure. So your research should be conducted at a minimum cost, with minimum efforts, in a minimum time and at a minimum money. So everything which required for research, it should be minimum. So it should be designed in such a way that it will minimize your cost, your efforts, your time and money. So there are so many designs in a research, so such as experimental and non-experimental hypothesis. So experimental means which are going to conduct in a control condition, so that is a experimental design, and when it is not with a control, then it is a non-experimental design. Then the next stage, determining sample design. So sample in a research there are two terms which you should be remember. The first one is population. So population means whole numbers, whole units from which you going to draw a sample. For example, suppose we have to conduct a research on a student's learning in a agriculture and allied sciences college. So suppose I have to identify the student satisfaction who are learning in College of Agriculture and Allied Sciences Baramati, then all the students who are learning in College of Agriculture and Allied Science Baramati are called as a population. So all the numbers who are learning in the institute, we called it as a population or a universe. And if I going to conduct a research for or conduct taking a feedback for all the students, it is not possible, or it will take a more time, more cost and more efforts. So I'll select some samples from agriculture college, some from agribusiness management, some from polytechnic students and some from animal husbandry students. So suppose there is a taking a particular samples from particular college, then that selected numbers is called a sample. So population is a whole number, and out of that population selected is called as a sample. So the researcher must decide the way of selecting a sample, or what is a popularly known as a sample design. So out of the population we have to select a sample, we have to draw a sample. So that is a difference. The whole population is whole numbers are the population, and the drawn numbers for the research is called as a sample. Then there are the types of sampling. So as I told, this selected a sample, there are different types of sampling. So these are normally divided into two types. First one is probability sampling and another one is non-probability sampling. So probability sampling means each element have a equal chance to get selected as a sample. So each sample has a equal chance to get selected is a probability sampling, and non-probability sampling is everyone is not have a equal chance to get selected. So these are in a probability sampling. There are different types of samples. The first one, simple random sampling, means just like a lottery. When we select any from the lottery, so everyone has a equal chance to get selected. that is a simple random sampling. Or just like a cheat, suppose I have written the names of all the students learning in the college and I pick the some cheats, so every cheat have got a chance to get selected. That is a simple random sampling. The second one is systematic random sampling. In systematic random sampling, suppose out of the total population of our college is 2000, and out of 2000 I have to select only 200 students. So 2000 divided by 200, so it's a 10. So every 10th number of sample I going to select, that is a systematic sample. Then stratified sample means I will differentiate all the college, agri college, ABM college, polytechnic and animal husbandry. So I will select a sample from agri college, select from these and this. It is a stratified sampling. First I differentiate the groups, and from each group I will draw a sample by random basis. So it is a stratified sampling. And in a cluster sample, I distinguish or I form the groups of agri college, ABM college, polytechnic college and animal husbandry, and I select a whole group just like agriculture and the polytechnic. Then it's a cluster sampling. I pick a whole cluster for collecting a data. The non-probability sample, as I told, everyone is not have a equal chance. So convenience sampling means suppose I have to collect a data from the students. So if I am staying in a hostel, so I collect only students who are convenient to me for taking a data. So I will select only the students who are staying nearby me. Then judgmental means you have some judgment about your analysis or for your result. Then on the basis of judgment you select a sample. And quota sampling means you decide a quota and on the basis of that you will take a sample. The next method is collection or collecting the data. So there are different way to collect the data. So first one is observation. By observing the things we can record a data and we can interpret that data. Then by personal interview, taking an interview of a sample, we can collect data. Then telephonic interview, it is a subtype of interview. Then mailing questionnaire. So questionnaire is a list of questions which we formulated, and if we share that questionnaire with the respondents, so getting a feedback from that respondents, it is a mailing of questionnaires. And the schedule. So schedule means directly we meet with the respondents and will feed the response from the customers. So these are the methods of collecting the data. Then execution of a project. So seventh stage is, now we up to this stage we formulated the design, now it's a execution. So in a execution or in a implementation, it should be in a systematic manner and in a time. So whatever your plan, it should be executed in a systematic manner and in a time. If the survey is to be conducted by means of structured questionnaire, data can be readily machine processed. So these are the execution of your project. The next stage is generalization and interpretation. The next one is analysis of data. So when you collected the data, you have to analyze that. In analysis, you have to formulate a table or make a pie diagram, allot a different taste. Then generalization and interpretation. Suppose I formulated a pie chart, and if there is a feedback like this, so what this stage is saying, what is the conclusion of this stage, it comes under the generalization and interpretation. So whatever you are finding after making a table, when you analyze something, you predict something, you conclude something, then it is a interpretation. When on the basis of data, on the basis of table, you give a conclusion that the students from agriculture college are more satisfied then it is a conclusion. So this comes under the interpretation and generalization. And the last stage of preparation of the report of, or the thesis. So when we conclude all the things, then we make a report of our findings, we make a thesis of our finding, and we submit that to the concerned party. So it is a process of a marketing research. So students, today we discuss on the marketing research. So marketing research is a systematic process of making a design, collecting a data, interpreting a data, and reporting a data of a particular thing of a particular organization. So marketing research give us an idea about the market. Market means how respondents or how customers looking towards our organization, towards our product, towards our quality of a product, and how they give their feedback. So on the basis of collection of data, we analyze the things, we interpret the things, and we report the things. So these things, this analysis, this interpretation will be useful for a company to take a strong decisions for a company, for a product, and on the basis of this they can get benefited by making or having a marketing research. So every organization, they conduct a marketing research. Even small organization, they have a conduct their market research. So big organization, they have their different department of conducting market research, and small organizations, they can hire a third party, and from those they can conduct their research. So student, this is a what about marketing research. If you have any question, any queries about our current lecture, then you can contact me.